morning, church family. I hope that you're off to a great start to your week. And this week, as we continue to go through the book of 1 Samuel, I want to invite you to do some reading because there are stories, important stories, in the book of Samuel that we're just not going to be able to have time to talk about on Sunday mornings. And if you're interested in talking about some of those more, I'm on Zoom with fellow Bible geeks every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And there's a link to that here in this, if you're getting it by email. But I want to encourage you to read the stories about the rise of Saul. King Saul becomes the first king over Israel. If you were with us on Sunday, we talked about Samuel and the people wanting to have a king like the other nations. And so the first king that God chooses to rule over Israel is a guy named Saul. And so in 1 Samuel chapter 9, 10, 11, we get to meet Saul. And we see his success. And like many of the judges come before him, he delivers the Israelites from the Philistines. And then in chapter 12, 13, 14, 15, things start to not go so well. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on in the week. But also our memory verse for the month of May, are we in May still? I think we are, is from 1 Samuel 16, verse 7b. The Lord does not look at the things that people look at. People look at outward appearance. The Lord looks at the heart. And so as you read the story of Saul, I want you to key in on that word heart. Because God's going to do some really cool things in Saul's life. He's going to actually change Saul's heart at the beginning of his rise to leadership. And then there are other things that are going to happen to his heart. And then we're going to pick up this heart idea with David as we go through. And so I would encourage you to check out the Bible Project's video on the word heart in the Old Testament, because the Israelites had a different understanding for the word heart than we do today. We tend to think of our heart not just the physical part that supplies blood to our whole body, but as our emotions, as our feelings. In the ancient Near Eastern thought, Israelite thought, it's also the place of your will and your mind. They didn't have a concept for the brain like we do now. And so that video from the Bible Project is really helpful. I put a link here if you got this by email, but also you can go looking for it on YouTube. And that really helps us understand this word heart. So watch for that as we go through and you read along in the story of Saul, because God is going to raise him up as a leader. He's going to change Saul's heart and give him some opportunities to really to rule in a godly way, and Saul's ultimately going to fail in his attempts to do that. So we'll have a couple of these videos this week that'll talk through some of these stories that we won't have time to get through on Sunday. But until then, God be with you as you read, key in on that word heart, and as well ask the question, God, what's going on in my heart, my mind, my will, my emotions, and how can I bring those under your authority as the king of my life? So that's all for today. Happy reading, and we look forward to connecting with you.